thoughts were very black, dark, and negative. It was tough. I was not strong back in the day. Fear is not real. Danger is real. A lot of people mix that in their life. What is talent without discipline? For me, a high performance mindset is something.
As an anchor, as a host, as an MC in Oman, do you feel these jobs are respected and appreciated in Oman? I mean, they could be different to...
They're very different.
Yeah, they're all very different. So maybe
and it really depends on you as a person, on you as an MC, as a host, as a presenter, as... Let's say we're talking about formal presenting. So let's say news anchoring. Let's say things that are very formal. Okay? So formal media. In terms of formal media, it's very important that you know this. And I always say this to people. Like, for example, I'm on the national television and on national radio. I love Oman. I really love Oman. It's very important. And there's a very big difference. A lot of people say that they love Oman, but there's a few who do. There's a big difference, and I'll give you the difference in just a very short statement, which is actions speak louder than words. Period. Actions speak louder than words. So for example, if you're going for a news bulletin, give it your all. It's for your country. People will respect you for that. I remember after I've just came off the seat from my first news bulletin, I opened up my phone, scrolled it, I got messages even from embassies telling me, congratulations, you're a new face to the TV. We want to see you. We want to see you doing more. And I'm still getting such messages till today. When I'm, going out around and about, it became something that people would spot me. You do news on TV. Hey, I've seen you before on, for example, on radio. I've seen you on a clip on Instagram. I've seen you here. So you have to match up the energy to that. You have to actually be that person. In essence, you have to love Oman with your actions. So if you do that, people will respect you. If there's another MC, for example, saying that I love Oman and I'm the best one here in Oman and I'm doing everything for Oman, but then behind the scenes, he's not doing that, he's not acting up to that, people are not stupid. People understand. If they see, for example, your social media page filled of stuff that are filthy, that are not appropriate, that are not with morals, high morals and standards, then how can you say that you love Oman? How can you say that you love the country? Very easy. I'm telling you, this is a very strong way of understanding if someone loves the country. Actions speak louder than words. Don't tell me that you love the country. Show me that you love the country. That's for the formal side of media.
I think, I think for a news anchor, news presenter, TV presenter, I think it's respected in Oman, because it's important to us, it's a big deal for us here in Oman. A radio host, I feel maybe the generations, are evolving, but till now, I don't know how parents would react if their child would say, I want to be a radio host, I want to be a radio presenter. Would it be as respected as I want to be a medical doctor?
Well, it really depends on how you bring your children up. Like, I can't talk for everyone. Everyone is different. Everyone has different standards and priorities in life. A radio host is someone who informs people about things. Let's talk about it. Okay, there is jokes, there is the fun, there is the entertainment, but that's what people see of the job. There's a lot of skill and hard work at the back end. There's creative minds at the back end who make things seem easy. One of the talents is if you're able to simplify things, make things easy. Like I'll give you an example. A lot of people think that, hey, I want to be a radio host. We bring them in for one day and they understand that there's a lot behind the scenes. There's a lot of hard work. So radio, TV, any other profession, it's respected if you look at it and give it your all. So if you give your efforts, put in the hard work for that. And as we said, Oman may be a small market. If you feel that Oman is not enough for you, think of going abroad. Think of becoming someone who's a media personality abroad. That is okay, as long as you represent your country in a good way. And I know a few Omanis who are doing that here in different GCC countries, for example. They felt that Oman market is a bit small for them. That is their decision. They went out and they found their opportunity. Opportunity wouldn't come and knock your door. You have to follow your passion and find your opportunity. So as parents, once again, back to your question, don't limit your kids. If you find, let's say, if your kid is good at being a barista, why should you stop him? Do you know that baristas are paid well worldwide if you're someone who's really good at it? That is one. A chef. We kind of look down to, for example, a chef. Chefs are paid really well in their field if they're specialized. Photography, videography, skills. I have met, and this is pre-COVID, before COVID. I have met a photographer who is specialized only in 5-star hotels, hospitality. I've worked in the hospitality sector for a while, and like around 2 years, and I've met with him and I've sat with him. He comes to Oman, for example, and he came to the hotel that I worked for a week. He gets all his 3 meals, free accommodation, free laundry, and a big lump sum of money just to take pictures for that hotel. It's a well-paid job. Just broaden your horizon as a parent. But
he's specialized in his niche.
He's very specialized. So let's say also as a radio presenter, you can even specialize in a certain thing that you're happy with. Let's say creativity, fun industry, entertainment industry. It could be paying, if it's not paying well here in Oman, you can connect in other places around the world and find your way. And once again, there's a very important statement that I've been taught once in one of my travels. It was in Thailand. And see, this is what I'm talking once again about impact. Things that stick for a very long time. It's not about the resources. It's about the resourcefulness.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something. Personally, I've been told this by, let me say, 3 to 4 people who I value a lot. And they're not just saying it to me because they want to be nice to me. They told me, Ahmed, if we put you anywhere in the world, you'll know how to deal with the situation. Because it's not about the resources again, it's about the resourcefulness, how to create resources from whatever you have. So if you think that, for example, parents are against being a radio anchor here in the country locally, I'm fine with that. But as a parent, you have to broaden your horizons and understand that opportunities are not just bound to Oman. They're also bound to other countries. We're a global country, and you have to understand that there's something, hello, mom and dad, there's something called the internet. People are making millions off the internet. There you go.
Absolutely. I want to know with your story with media, like how long ago did that start? Like when did you discover your passion for media?
Okay, so since I was a child, things were going into that direction. Media, helping out people, being someone who's very productive. Since I was a child, I always liked to stand out and always be the guy who's informing people something, telling them something that is useful, something that is helpful. And as I grew, as this thing grew with me. In 2010, when I was entering college, one thing that I didn't share earlier is that I was actually wanting to choose media as a specialization, and I was eligible to do it. We may be diverted with the conversation. I'm bringing it back.
Thank you.
Peer pressure from like the family saying, hey, media doesn't have a future in Oman. That's what I've been told. Media doesn't have a future in Oman. Why do you want to be on media? And a lot of things like that. So I went into a different specialization, and I've done the whole 4 years, and I graduated with, that's once again the mindset. I've graduated with good grades. I wouldn't say it's top notch, but it's good grades, something that I'm happy with. Above average. So, alhamdulillah, happy with that. Graduated fully.
There are a few questions about that period I'll get back to, but go on.
Yes. So, graduated, and I've always been into media. It's a passion of mine. You know, like, so you do anything else, you feel that you're choked, even though you're performing well, but it's not you. It's something that is not you. You feel that you're doing something out of your league. It's not something that is suitable for you. So I'll tell you how my formal media story started. It started out, I was working in the private sector, and I would actually take some time off, and sorry to my previous bosses, I would take some time off in the morning and go and film different reports. And then I would come back and continue work like nothing is happening, and then I would have the news bulletin at 7 p.m. at night. I would go after work, so I finish work, let's say at 5:30, 6. I would go out to the media center, to the news center. In the TV,
so you're working.
I was working private sector, and I was doing a contract
Wow.
with the TV. That's how it started out.
Okay.
And then things evolved, and it went into the radio and things
Yes.
like that. So once again, it's all about how you deal with situations. So I used to do that. I used to actually sometimes leave work to do something that I'm fulfilled with, which is my passion. I would leave work to MC, for example, a race that is happening in the morning, in the afternoon. Then I would go back and complete my working hours. I would do it faithfully. But in the end of the day, you have to remember 80% for whatever your bosses want.
Things
There's
doesn't
that
happen
20,
overnight.
Yeah, 20% of you have to give yourself that space and do what develops you. Companies usually, and especially in the corporate sector, would focus on the values of the company and whatever. I'm okay with that. And I'll do that to the best of my ability. In the end of the day, you're paying me. I have to respect that. I have to give it my all. But at the same time, the other 20%, and it's very important so that you find really large corporations like Google, for example. They would open up doors for their employees to do stuff that is creative and related to them because they understand the importance of that. So same thing, I would take that 20% time off and work on stuff that I'm interested in to develop. And then it started off with reporting for the TV, then news anchoring for the TV, and on the radio as well.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't want to build their passion career. Like they want it to happen overnight. They just leave a job and go full time.
Doesn't happen like that. Doesn't happen like
and
that.
I think
It took me
how
14
serious you are.
years. 14 years to reach to what I'm doing today. 14 years of hard work. 2010, all the way. I used to do part-time shows here and there with private sector channels and work here and there, even free of charge sometimes. No contract, nothing, just to reach to where I am. So you have to put in the hard work. I'm sorry, you're not going to order something from Talabat. You have to put in the hard work. You're not ordering through a food app. You're not ordering through any food app. You are putting in the hard work, learning the communication skills, actually being in field, networking, understanding who is the important people in your field. You have to put in all that to achieve what you want to achieve.
Okay. So after uni, right? First of all, the last semester of uni, you got the best grades from all the male students. Did you perform that well throughout the previous years, or was it only that semester that you had to shift gears?
In general, I would consider myself a very hardworking person. Let me be honest. I don't feel that I'm very smart in academics, but I'm very hardworking. Like I can tell you this, throughout college, I would do something that a lot of students wouldn't do, which was I would finish college at, let's say, 4 p.m. So classes start at 8 a.m. in the morning, they finish at 4 p.m., on and off. After 4 p.m., every single day, I used to do this 4 days of the week. From 4 to 8 p.m., I used to sit in the library and work on summarizing everything that I got during that day. So it makes it really easier for me when I would have made a lot of money if I sold these, summaries to the students, but I didn't think of it at the time. But in the end of the day, I used to be very hardworking throughout college years. And alhamdulillah, I always used to get good grades. I wouldn't say brilliant grades, but I would say good grades that I'm happy with, that I'm satisfied with, because I put in the effort and the work. Of course, there's a subject or two that are very difficult to you. That is normal during all the years of uni. But in general, I used to do that on a daily basis. That was my practice. Go and sit in the library from 4 to 8 p.m., summarize everything that I got through that day, and keep that summary ongoing. So towards the end of the semester, everything will be ready for the exams, assignments, everything. I'm always ready. And it worked. It worked fine, and it took me through the college years. I got a really good grade, and I'm happy when I graduated. Alhamdulillah, I was satisfied with my grade.
And after you graduated, you told me you fell ill.
Yes.
And you suffered for almost half a year, maybe.
Everything has a message. Everything in your life has a message if you take it like that. In that illness, I understood the love of a dad, how your dad loves you. Because I graduated in 2014, end of 2014. To beginning of 2015, I fell sick. So I would see everyone else, my peers, and I fell sick for almost a year. So it was 8 months plus. And I didn't really know what was going on. I just felt lethargic, so no energy at all. And I had a lot of, I would say, digestive system issues. And God bless my dad. He stuck out with me throughout that. We traveled to India for different reasons of treatment. And here and locally in Oman, I've understood that a dad wouldn't come and tell you that I love you, but he'll show you the meaning of love.
Yes.
Him standing next to you. I remember in one situation in India, I've actually told him, Dad, this is very expensive for us. And he said to me, I'll do it. No matter what, you are my son. So we'll get it through. It reached to that stage. So you can understand the love of a dad. And that was a place where I understood the love of my dad.
And after uni, you went to Indonesia as a charity
Yes,
trip.
that was one of the other breakthroughs. You remember the 2010 breakthrough with Sheikh Al-Fani Al-Isri? That was one. Indonesia trip was another breakthrough. And also the illness time was a breakthrough. There's a few points in your life that you would never return back. So I've understood the blessing of health when I was sick. And I've understood the love of my dad when I was sick. Indonesia was another breakthrough for me. So
sorry to cut you off, but while you're being ill, that you're facing physical challenges, mentally, how were you dealing
I was
with
not
it? I bet
strong.
it was tough.
It was tough. I was not strong back in the day.
What
mentally.
are the thoughts that were running through your head?
The thoughts was always, thoughts were very black, dark, let me say, and negative. And because you're seeing everyone and you're not at that level of awareness yet. You're seeing everyone around you, like I'm talking about peers, students, getting married, getting jobs, everybody is living their life and you feel that you're behind.
You're stuck.
You're stuck. Everybody's doing their thing and you just graduated with high grades and you one who should be doing the same as them. It feels a bit...
Especially after you've put in the work
all the
and
effort.
you put in the effort. Yeah.
All the effort. So in that, it was a very difficult time, but things changed. And the mentality slowly, and that is one of the lessons that I've learned in the sickness is that health is a blessing. Try to, as much as possible, maintain your health, stay away from bad pressure of peers, of going into bad habits, smoking, drinking, any other bad habits, and try as much as possible to remain healthy. There will be parts in your life where you wouldn't be able to create that balance, and I'm actually living one now. During the last 2 years, I had a lot of work, like I'm talking hours that are insane per day. And I've neglected physical health, but I'm getting back to it. I've understood the importance of it and I'm getting back to it. So I'm saying and I've said this previously, it's okay to lose control. And actually that means that you're doing it right. If you're losing control for a small period of time, that means you're advancing. You're jumping from a level of awareness to another level, which is very important. So let's go back into the Indonesia trip. That was also another breakthrough in my life. 2016, August. I've been invited by this charity group to go and do charity in Indonesia. And I can tell you, it's not about, this is a very well-known statement, that it's not about the faces, it's not about the places, it's all about the faces. So the people who you are with, who you're traveling with. They were people of high awareness, people who added a lot of life. So I was listening during the trip to their stories, people who are there to battle, to find meaning to their life, to battle depression, you just sit there back and listen to the stories and you'd get motivated immediately. The difference, usually when we give a riyal or 2 riyals of charity, we don't see how that is spent. The difference in this trip in Indonesia, that I was there actually doing the charity. So we would ourselves take the bags of flour and rice and take it to the homes. We would give the bags to the children, and I've posted a few things on my socials about it back in the day. So back in 2016 on my Instagram page, the smile on someone's face when you give them something, that means meaning to you. And you can understand that you have a lot. Even when we were talking in the conversation that people complain, and I asked them, do you travel? Do you see how people are living their life? We've seen people in Indonesia, some parts of rural Indonesia, that don't have a GSM network. Who lives without a phone today? We've seen people that don't even have a toilet in that place. Right. I'm not talking the whole country, I'm talking rural parts of Indonesia. We've contributed to people getting married. So a wedding, happy thing for people. So all that put together, it was very interesting. Very interesting to see how things are. So that was a breakthrough for me. I've learned a lot of appreciation during that trip. Appreciate what you have. You have a lot if you really think of it. If you're healthy, if you have the basics in your life, that is something to say thank God for. A lot of people don't say Alhamdulillah for these things. They don't say thank you God for giving me 1, 2, 3, 4.
Or say it just with their tongue but not with their heart.
That's it. They don't feel it. It's just something on their tongue like Alhamdulillah, thank God. It's not in their hearts. Feel it. And if you see how people are deprived from basic rights, it would show you that you have a lot.
And after that, you went on other trips with the purpose of self-discovery. Why did you feel you wanted to understand yourself better?
You have to, this is not something that is optional. If you're a serious person about your life, and actually for all people, you have to do your best in life. It's not an option. You have to do your best in life. You have to become the person that is someone who can change yourself, transform your life. No one will do it for you. No one will walk your path for you. No one will. Up to the age of 18, your mom and dad did a sufficient job with you. Let's say 18, 16, no matter what. In Western cultures, we know that people get kicked out of their homes at 18 because you have to depend on yourself. Mm-hmm. So you have to, if you want to live a good life, there's 2 ways of going about life. If you're staying constant, you're actually going lower because the life in general is going forward. Things are developing, technology is developing, so you have to cope up with that.
You have to keep increasing your value.
Your value. What would make me different? Why would employers employ me? Why would people work with me? Why would people consider me? All of that put together shows you that you have to increase your value in life. And it's a must. It's not a choice if you want to be someone. That is first of all. And the second thing is from a religious perspective. If you really think about it, you're someone who has to add value. Yani one of the main things that we have been taught by our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, even if doomsday is coming up and you have a plantation in your tree or a small tree in your hand, a plant, put it down. Dig the floor and put it down and make it grow. So that is one of the ways of working. And even the verses in the Holy Quran, there's a lot of verses. وَقُلِ اعْمَلُوا فَسَيَرَ اللَّهُ عَمَلَكُمْ وَرَسُولُهُ. There's a lot of verses, different verses that push us towards high level work, high level mindset to live a good life. And achieving your purpose will help making the world a better place. And that's what we need today. We need the world to become a better place. So if I'm not fulfilling my duties, how would the world become a better place?
It starts with ourselves.
Yeah. The inner journey. Exactly.
How do you look at competitiveness?
There's 2 ways of looking at it. There is a good way, a positive way, and then there is a sick way of being competitive.
I think in general, being competitive has a bad rap. Because someone will throw a lot of that word being thrown around a lot. You're so competitive. You're so competitive. That could be an amazing thing. But how often do we use that as an amazing thing? The only part that I see it and I only saw it or realized it is very recent. And it's in the Quran. Do you know which part in the Quran about being competitive?
Tell me.
فَلْيَتَنَافَسِ الْمُتَنَافِسُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and let the competitors compete. Bring out the competitiveness in you.
I mean, competition is a way of moving forward in life. Okay. What did I mean by sick competitiveness is when you wish others ill so that you become better in whatever you do. Like you would actually do things from under the table for them.
I think that's cheating. And that's what people mix up. So I could be doing things behind your back to harm you.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, nah, I'm just competitive. No,
that's not being competitive.
You're a cheater.
Exactly. You're not playing by the rules.
Yeah.
You're not playing by the rules. So competitiveness is a very good thing. If it's taken in that perspective, in its right order and form, competitiveness is something that would move you forward. I like people who are competitive. I like to be around people who like to wake up early in the morning and achieve more. You have more in your day. Be competitive. Be on the top of your day. It's something good. If people throw that word very easily, like for example, they want to, and see, competitiveness is not, that's a typical picture of someone, for example, let's say, waking up at 4 a.m. and then meditating in the proper way of doing it, and it's very materialized way of understanding it. Let's say if you're an athlete, yes, that is very important to get in that session of sport. For example, for a triathlete, you'll get a session of sports before going to work and then something in the afternoon after, so you have to do that. But some people, like let's say for a writer, so it's based on your specialization. Some people like to write at night because it's very calm, serene, everybody's sleeping, there's no disturbance. So that is your competitive edge. Focus there. So it shouldn't be in a very materialized way as competitiveness. It's based on your field. But be competitive in your field. Yes, other things you can fall behind in, but when it comes to your field, if you're someone who is into, let's say, business, you have to know what your competitor has lagging back or he's very back at, and you can use that as a strong point to push forward for yourself.
Absolutely.
So competitiveness is something good if it's taken in a proper, direct way that is full of, ethics and values without harming other people. Absolutely. And cheating and, pushing towards negative directions. I think competitiveness is something that the society needs, and it brings the best out of us.
And other than Indonesia, you went to other countries,
Thailand, I've been to India, I've been to many other countries as well in Asia.
What are the discoveries that you made and learnings?
Well, I've attended a lot of courses and different programs, courses, some of them including meditation, some of them including religious practices in India, for example, some of them including self-development in Thailand. So there was a lot of different courses. All these discoveries show you...
usually people go to all these places
for tourism,
just to chill. Yeah,
I can tell you something. Of course, there's times where you'll have to chill, and it's good even during a trip. Let's say combine both, combine your pleasure and tourism kind of aspect, but at the same time focus on learning in the trip itself. And that, once again, it depends what type of person you are when you travel. So if you're only seeking the materialistic things, you remember I was talking about if you're traveling, let's say to Thailand, and you want a plate of biryani all the time in front of you and things like that, you're just traveling on a very materialistic level, but you're not going into the depth of the culture, understanding the people, how they live, what they like, what they don't like, and moreover from that. So I would say when I travel, that's what I do. I try to mix. So there's the entertainment part, of course, but at the same time, there is a part where you learn, where you develop. So it depends on the intention of that travel. Some is purely for business, some is purely for self-development, and some is for enjoying yourself and just having
Do you remember what you learned when you went to Thailand?
A lot of things. A lot of different things. One of the most important things is that fear is not real. Danger is real. A lot of people mix that in their life. What if this doesn't happen? What if this doesn't work out? They're afraid. But they don't try. They don't try, or they quit very easy in the journey. So fear is not real. Danger is real.
They don't focus on what if it works.
And I do want to give you an example so people can understand the difference between fear and danger, a very practical one. So fear, when I'm saying fear is not real, danger is. Fear is something that you're afraid from in the future that is not real. And most of the times it doesn't happen actually. Like for example, what if I fail in college and then you end up succeeding in college? If you fail once, you'll repeat the subject and succeed and then graduate college. Danger, however, is real. Let's say your house is burning. That is danger. That is hazard. You have your kids inside. You have to save your kids. That is danger. That is real. You'd like to pull your kids one after the other outside the danger zone. So that is the difference between fear and danger. Fear is something that is just in your head, while danger is something physical that is happening. A car accident, something like that, that is danger. And that's when you have to act accordingly.
And you
to move
learned that
forward.
when you went to Thailand. How did
That was one of the things that
How
I've
did you learn
learned
that?
in courses, and I've applied
Okay.
it. So it was in a course, and then I've applied it in my life during my career, and it helped me grow very fast.
Okay. And you remember what you learned, let's say, when you went to India?
India, for example, there was a lot of meditation, self-work, so inner work. A lot of people
Why is it important?
shy. If you don't know who you are, how can you achieve? If you don't know what you want to be, how can you achieve? People distract themselves with a lot of things, scrolling through social media and that, but they would not sit for an hour or 2 hours with themselves. I have a habit. Every 3 to 4 months, I have to disappear for 2 days. I would book some resort outside Muscat, and I would disappear for 2 days and evaluate what I've done during the 3-4 months that passed. So a quarter kind of evaluation.
Yeah.
To understand what is right, what is wrong, and do the inner self-work for the future. So inner self-work does not just mean meditation. And some people think that meditation is a form, and this is a false idea, that meditation is only a form of relaxation. That is a commercial part of it. But meditation is a very powerful tool of thinking. And I can give you an idea. Prophet Muhammad, when he used to go into the cave.
Yeah.
Yes, Ghar Hira, when he used to go into the cave, he used to meditate. And this is a message for these people who say meditation is not
Or
important.
contemplate.
Yeah, exactly. Of this, and look into how did this universe come into existence, and how, till he got the guidance from God. So you would put in a lot of inner work. There's a lot of thought and process. There's a lot of things that are unseen, and taking us back again to the example that I was giving, the level of awareness that you're at matters a lot. A lot of people are on a very low level here, and they want things on the top level to happen. That would never happen. You have to work to get to that level. So how do you close that gap? You can contemplate, meditate, do exercise, do whatever makes you shift or create that shift and go from here into the upper level.
Talking about putting in the work, you joined Toastmaster. What stage of your career was that?
Toastmasters was just pre-COVID.
Okay.
So we're talking around 2017, 18 to 2019, those 3 years. And this is something that I've been well known for on a personal level, that when I have a goal, I'm very focused about it. So you have to get obsessed about it. And you have to put in the hard work, the effort to achieve it. I've won competitions on national level, on domestic level even, and I do have unfinished business. I do want to go back, and I want to go on an international stage of Toastmasters. That will happen sometime in the future. It's one of my plans that I'm working on. But currently I'm happy with what I have achieved on a local level and also on a domestic level. So when I'm talking domestic level, different countries. I've won a competition in April of 2019 of Toastmasters. Toastmasters is something that teaches you leadership and communication skills. And it's very good. I would recommend it to college or people who are in college years, let's say, students even, from, let's say, the age of 16 or a bit above. They should join Toastmasters to enhance the public and, communication skills in general.
And what made you decide to get into Toastmasters?
To polish some of my skills when it comes to communication and public speaking, and also to build a bit of leadership skills, because they have a full-on course for leadership and a full-on course for communication. But merely for me, it was the communication part, to get better with the communication and build better communication skills, because I knew that this would be very helpful in the future for me. It would be something that would determine my success or not. So I've went into Toastmasters full-heartedly, and people can calculate the amounts of sessions that I've missed on one hand during these 3 years. Like even on literally one hand, it's less than 5. Like we would have a weekly session, so I would attend every single session, and not just attend, I would be of an active role, because there's different roles in the session of Toastmasters. I would have to have a role in every single session, either a speech or holding different roles within Toastmasters to make sure that I'm actively there. And once again, it's not about just showing up. Some people say you have to show up in your bad days, but add value in your good days. So most of your days are the good ones. The bad ones, just show up. That is good enough. But for the days that you feel good about yourself.
On most days.
You have to put in the extra mile, the extra work. So that's it. And have your goal in mind. And I always would say that you should be like a cheetah. When you have any goal, put it down, laser beam focus on your goal and just hunt it. Go behind it. Don't get easily distracted. There's a lot of things that would distract you now in this day and age, but be very focused and you can achieve it.
How do you look at talent? I mean, somebody could say, Ahmed, but like, you don't need to do Toastmaster. You've been talking, you've been presenting in school. Communication is your thing. You're already talented in it.
Well, you have the seeds of talent, but the discipline is very important. Talent is something. What is talent without discipline? So, for example, let me give you a very clear example that Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, 2 football players. When you talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi is sheer talent, so he's very talented, but he does put in the hard work. He trains with his club, he puts 1, 2, 3, whatever. Cristiano Ronaldo, on the other hand, is not very talented, but he's very disciplined. Look at him. On the field, off the field, he's eating habits, like his lifestyle, everything that he has. He's very disciplined as a player. And he also is into business and he has a lot of different franchises and things like that. One of them is here, even in the Sultanate of Oman. You didn't know about it, one of the hair clinic. So he's involved in a hair clinic that is here in the country. But all that put together, discipline is a very important factor. So you may be talented, but if you're not disciplined,
how far will talent take you on its own?
Exactly. That's it. So talent would take you to a point, but then people will understand that, hey, this guy can speak, for example, but he's not disciplined in his work. Like it would get you, that's what they say, like, for example, in interviews and things, 70% about your first appearance matters and things like that. So what is after the 70%? If you want to complete that 100%, you have to have more like value to add. And how to add that value is by staying consistent, being disciplined, learning more about communication skills, learning more about how things work off of your field as well. For example, I'm into formal media. This is a podcast. So I'm looking at how things that have actually went into courses to do with podcasts as well, producing podcasts and things like that, to learn how other people think, how the new modern technology works. You have to keep updated with that.
Absolutely. No, I definitely respect how you and the importance of being, obsessed with your craft, and zoning in and trying to not leave any stone unturned in your field. Would you say you want to be the best?
Well, I would want to be the best, but there's a difference. So the 22-year-old Ahmed would always be obsessed only. Obsession is a very good thing. Obsession in a positive way. Yeah. About your goal, for example. I want to be on TV. I want to be on radio. It's a very good thing. And it's good to be ambitious. It's very good to be ambitious. And it's something that is well favored. And people would like you if you're someone who of ambition and someone of talent and someone of... Because those people make the difference in the society. Yeah. As they would say, those people dent the universe. They make the difference in the universe. It's very good to be talented. It is very good to be ambitious, to want to be the first. So the 22-year-old of me would say, yes, be ambitious, talented, and give it your all and things like that. But after 10 years from now, from that date, from being 22 years old, the wiser Ahmed now would say it's very important also to be happy and fulfilled. Mm. You have to be fulfilled with the journey that you're going through. So for example, I'm happy that I'm doing what I'm doing now in media. I'm satisfied. Waking up every day is not a challenge for me. A lot of people don't like waking up to going to their work every single day. For me, it's not. I love going to work. Work starts at this time, I'm there early because I love what I do. And that is, you have to be happy. At the same time, you have to be flexible. So I'm running a bit ahead here. For me, a high performance mindset, okay, is something related to a happy mind and also a mind that focuses on being very flexible. So a happy and productive, let's say a high performance mindset in general, if you go into it, the mind, how your mind works, you should have a happy mind that is enjoying the journey that you're in. Mm. You stop to admire what's happening in your life. You stop to celebrate when you have an achievement, but you always have the focus of moving forward.
Why
And
is that
flexible,
important? Why is it important?
Why
to
is
be
it important
happy
to be
on your
happy?
journey? Yeah.
A lot of people think that money is happiness, or they think that any objective is happiness. But in the end of the day, when you live your life, towards the end of your life, if you look into regrets of people, one of the regrets is that they wish that they didn't work that much in their life. So working hard is good, but working hard on something that you're passionate about, something that you build, it brings fulfillment to you. That's why it's very important. Because if you're not fulfilled on the long run, you consider yourself a fuel tank. And if you're not happy on the long run, if you're doing something, you get depleted very fast, something that you don't like. But if it's something that you'd like, you would go slowly down, but then you'll know how to refuel yourself once again and always be full, always be content.
Makes
so
sense.
I think that's why it's important to be happy in the journey. Whatever you do, be happy. Learn to appreciate the good moments. Learn to be human and appreciate what is happening. Social media shows us a lot of people that are showing the best of their side, but they're not showing the other side of the coin.
True.
The depression, the hard work, the tears, the sweat, all that went at the back of the end. Like Usain Bolt running his less than 10 seconds. He trains for 4 years for those 10 seconds. Literally 10 seconds of sprinting.
10 seconds
There you
is
go.
a huge deal.
Exactly.
To shave off 10 seconds.
That's it. And to shave not even to shave off the fraction of seconds out of that to get into a world record. So when we're talking about
especially in a sprint. Like,
yeah, there you go. So that's a high performance mindset for me. It's to be happy about the journey. So you're achieving, but you're achieving happily. This is the new Ahmed. And at the same time, you are very flexible. Why are you flexible? It's very important to accept in new challenges. People tend, as they get older, to refuse anything and just focus, for example, on their career. No, explore other areas, other dimensions of you, of what you do. How can I improve my work? How can I be different? So a high performance mindset for me is being happy, but at the same time being flexible, to accept
Adaptable.
change and adapting to change when it happens. Very, very important. You'd find sometimes senior people with like PhDs and high academic stance that are not flexible. They
Very
can't
rigid.
change. They're very rigid. And you'd see someone who's like a simple worker, but he's very flexible to change in his work field. And it goes both ways. It can go in the opposite. You can find someone rigid here and someone that. The most important thing is to be, adaptable to change. And change is the only thing that is constant. That is how to live your life, because change is happening. Like, who would expect that we would have COVID-19, for example? Who would expect that everything will move online? Who would expect? So you have to adapt to change and work with it.
couldn't have answered it better.
Well,
Ahmed, we got to the end of today's episode, but I really want to applaud you for your love for our country, Oman. You're definitely a national treasure that we're proud of, and I think you have a bright future, inshallah, ahead of you, and a lot of huge achievements.
well, looking forward to those achievements. More important than the personal achievements is actually loving what you do and actually living your life to the max. And when I go on national TV or on national radio, I know that I represent Omanis, like I'm the voice of Omanis. So I try to be the best of the best when I do that, to the best of my abilities. I try to, portray my country in the best possible way, and hoping to, achieve that for me and for the youth that are around here in the country. And it's very important for a person to take good care of himself in terms of developing himself, because you are the true asset to the country. You are what makes Oman different. And yeah, it was an enjoyable one.
Fantastic. Shukran.
Thank you.